What reproductive justice means to me is that anybody can do with their own body what they want, and they cannot regulate what anybody else does with their body.
Reproductive justice to me is, well, not just me, to anyone, is the fundamental right to choose how you wish to structure your life.
For me, reproductive justice is all about education and knowledge. It's so important to have knowledge, to have the agency to use your body how you choose. And our society does not, give people the knowledge they need to make the right choices for them and to use their bodies to the best of their abilities and to fulfill their desires.
Reproductive justice movements, they work outside of both the neoliberal discourse and the pitfalls of radical discourses that have ignored the fact that you need both the freedom and the ability to access your control over your body and your reproductive organs.
Reproductive justice to me is the radical notion that people should have control of their own reproduction, sexuality, and bodies.
Reproductive justice is being able to make all and any of the decisions about your body and what you do with it.
Reproductive justice, for me, is a constellation of issues. The law is important, but it's certainly not the only thing. It includes the right to understand how your body works, so to have sexual education.
So I think that's what's really important about reproductive justice is that it's committed to providing that education and knowledge as well as ensuring rights.
Do I want to have children? Do I not want to have children? Do I want to create a family? You should always have your personal decision to decide where you want to go in life. And for anyone else to remotely try to sway that, I think is wrong.
Reproductive justice to me means recognizing that my needs differ from other people's, but that all of our reproductive oppressions are connected. It's important to focus on those similarities and to focus on fighting for each other and not just ourselves and not just through traditional systems.
For me, reproductive justice is more than just abortion rights and whether that's legal or not. It's also about accessibility. It's about all issues related to reproductive health and rights, not just limiting fertility, but also having children how you want to have them and parenting them if you want to or not.
Reproductive justice goes beyond the legal framework of rights and addresses barriers and access across different identities, including but not limited to class, race, gender identity, sexuality, age, ability, and region.
The work I do in reproductive justice seeks to allow people to experience the subjectivity of their own bodies in any way that they see fit.
Dealing with women's rights in general naturally led me to reproductive justice. Controlling one's own body is a fundamental right.
A lot of my activism here at the university has been involved in reproductive justice-centric organizations. I am a blogger for OK for RJ, and I've been involved in OK for RJ and SOC, and I'm also really involved in human rights work, and I think that's really important because reproductive justice is a human right, and to be able to use your body how you see fit is a human right as well.
Currently, I work with a reproductive rights organization out of Wichita called Trust Women. We're hoping to be able to provide direct care to women of Central and South Kansas where there is no providers and really no care whatsoever, and try to work in Oklahoma as well.
I'm an anthropology major, and I'm interested in how we can use the tools of anthropology to study oppressive systems in a way that anthropology has not been used in the past, and to use anthropology as a tool for social justice as opposed to a tool for oppression.
My involvement in queer and transgender activism and my own experiences as a queer trans man are what inevitably led me to reproductive justice. These queer issues don't occur in a vacuum. They're intersecting and influenced by all these other issues, and they're all politics of the body, ultimately.
OK for RJ focuses on empowering young organizers to address issues and service gaps in their community through grassroots organizing, community programming, and activist trainings.
Well, I'm a women's and gender studies major and a Judaic studies minor, and so that relates to me specifically because a lot of times there's anti-reproductive justice movements that are based out of a religious lens, usually Christianity. There are, in fact, religions like Judaism that are actually for reproductive justice in a lot of cases.
A group of us were able to incorporate a nonprofit, a 501c4, to respond to the state legislature and to let women and men in the state have a voice for reproductive justice. The Oklahoma Coalition for Reproductive Justice, this nonprofit, has been able to become a plaintiff in lawsuits against 2 of these laws.
I focus mainly on the social and ecological relationships that happen and are changed by neoliberal capitalist development. And I think that reproductive justice relates to this really well because neoliberal discourse likes to place a lot of the burden on the individual for the situations that they're found in. This also works into the discourse around poverty, which says that women are having too many babies and they need to stop having babies, so we need to introduce like certain forms of education, certain forms of development programs that don't really address the underlying issues that really that the site of oppression is happening from.
Philosophy and anthropology double major, and I'm fascinated by people, by the way we interact, how we move forward together, and yet we're so individualistic at the same time. Reproductive justice gives me this insight to see of how other people think, how they behave, how they structure themselves.
Access and accountability.
Knowledge, definitely knowledge.
Freedom.
I'm really sick and tired of politicians playing politics with women's bodies.
Agency.
Queer stuff.
Regional youth activism.
Trans and non-binary gender justice.
Free birth control.
Smashing neoliberal capitalism.
Access to resources.